The galaxy was a dangerous place. Many alien empires fought for control. One empire stood above the rest. They were called the Korvax. Their fleets were huge, their weapons deadly, and their power feared across many star systems. The Korvax conquered planets with ease. No one could stop them. Planets that tried to fight were crushed quickly. Planets that gave up were ruled by Korvax governors who took everything for themselves. The Korvax believed no one could stand against them. They thought their reign would last forever. In a distant star system, a small, peaceful planet named Terran lay quietly. Terran had no army or warships. Its people lived simple lives, farming and trading with nearby worlds. They'd heard stories of the Korvax conquests, but they hoped their small world would be ignored. Far from Terran, in human space, the United Earth Fleet had been watching the Korvax rise with concern. Humans had faced dangers before, but the Korvax were a new threat. They were powerful and ruthless. Humans had smaller fleets, but believed in courage, teamwork, and cleverness. One human warship named Resolute was sent on a mission to Terran's system. The Resolute was not large or fast like some other ships, but it carried advanced technology and a skilled crew. Captain Liam Brennan led the Resolute. He was calm, brave, and thoughtful. As the Resolute entered the Terran system, sensors showed a massive Korvax fleet moving toward the planet. The Korvax wanted to take Terran quickly. They saw it as an easy prize, a world with no defense. The Korvax commander, General Karlach, was proud and confident. He believed the human presence was a joke. "This human ship is weak," Karlach said. To his officers, "We will destroy it in moments. Then Terran will be ours." But Captain Brennan was not afraid. He knew the odds were against him, but he also knew humans had something special. They did not give up easily. The Korvax fleet began their attack. Massive ships fired powerful energy beams toward Terran. The peaceful planet's surface shook. Cities lit up with alarms and people ran to shelters. The local leaders sent messages begging for help. The Resolute moved between the Korvax ships and Terran. Brennan ordered his crew to prepare weapons and shields. The ship's AI, called Echo, worked fast. Echo could learn from each battle and suggest new tactics quickly. Captain Echo said the Korvax ships are strong, but their attack patterns are predictable. "I suggest we use hit-and-run tactics." "Do it," Brennan replied. "Let's show them humans are not easy targets." The Resolute moved fast, firing small but powerful missiles at the Korvax ships. Missiles targeted their weak points. The Korvax were surprised. Their large ships were designed for direct attacks, not quick strikes. "Focus on their engines," Brennan shouted. "If we slow them down, we can protect Terran longer." The crew worked together like a well-oiled machine, used every advantage the Resolute had. The ship's shields absorbed heavy fire while they struck back. The Korvax general was growing frustrated. "Why is this ship still fighting?" he asked. "Destroy it at once." But every time the Korvax ships tried to corner the Resolute, it slipped away with smart moves. Brennan's crew did not panic. They stayed calm, even when the battle grew dangerous. Below on Terran, people watched the stars. They saw flashes of light and heard strange sounds on their radios. Hope grew in their hearts as they learned humans were fighting for them. After hours of fighting, the Korvax fleet slowed their attack. Their ships needed repairs, and morale was low. Brennan saw his chance. "Prepare for a strong counterattack," he ordered. "Can't let them rest." The Resolute moved quickly toward the largest Korvax ship, a massive battleship called the Tyrannus. Brennan planned to hit its command center, hoping to break the Korvax control. The missiles flew fast and hit the Tyrannus hard. Explosions rocked the battleship. The Korvax crew was shocked. They'd never seen such bravery from a single ship. Suddenly, the Tyrannus fired back with a huge energy blast. The Resolute's shields flickered but held strong. Brennan ordered evasive maneuvers. Echo calculated a safe path through the enemy fire. "We will not let Terran fall," Brennan said to his crew. "This is just the beginning." Knew this battle was different. It underestimated humans, thinking they were weak, but the Resolute proved them wrong. One small ship stood between the Empire and a peaceful world. As the battle raged on, the galaxy watched quietly. A new story was beginning, a story where humans could change the fate of many worlds. After the fierce battle around Terran, the Korvax fleet pulled back to repair and regroup. Their pride was hurt, and their commanders were confused. How could one human warship fight so well against their mighty forces? General Karlach ordered. A full investigation, Captain Liam Brennan and the Resolute crew did not waste time. They repaired their ship quickly and prepared for the next fight. The Resolute was damaged but still strong. Brennan gathered his officers for a meeting. This empire thinks they can crush any world, Brennan said. But we have something they don't: heart and smart tactics. We will protect Terran and show the Korvax that humans are not easy. Pray. Lieutenant Sarah Mendoza, the ship's weapons officer, nodded. Captain, the Korvax ships have heavy firepower, but their technology seems old in some ways. They rely on brute strength. Exactly, Brennan replied. We will use speed, surprise, and precision. Meanwhile, the Korvax studied the captured data from their battle with the Resolute. Their scientists were amazed. The human warship's AI Echo learned quickly from each attack and changed strategies fast. The Korvax technology was powerful, but rigid, with slow response times. This human ship adapts, said the Korvax chief scientist. It learns and improves in real time. We must be careful. Back on Terrene, the people were grateful to the humans. The local leader, Mayor Nara, sent a message to Captain Brennan. Thank you for saving us, she said. Your bravery has given our people hope. We want to help however we can.
Oh.
Brennan smiled. We fight not just for Terran, but for every world the Korvax want to take. We will stand together. The Resolute crew trained harder. They ran drills and planned new attacks. Brennan believed the Korvax would return with a bigger fleet, as they needed allies. One day, a small scout ship from a nearby star system arrived. It carried a message from the Carvian species. Carvians had also suffered under the Korvax. They wanted to join the fight. We have watched your courage, said Carvian, Ambassador Island. We will stand with you against the Korvax. Brennan welcomed the new allies. Together, we are stronger. Korvax will not conquer us. The Resolute and Carvion ships began hit-and-run attacks on Korvax supply lines. They destroyed cargo ships carrying weapons and fuel. This slowed the Korvax fleet and forced them to spend time guarding their resources. General Karlach was angry. These humans and their allies are ruining our plans. Send the elite hunting squad to find and destroy the Resolute. The hunting squad was known for speed and stealth. Their ships were small, but deadly. They hunted targets silently, leaving no chance for escape. The Resolute's sensors picked up the hunting squad approaching. Brennan prepared his crew. This will be tough, he said. But remember, we fight for freedom. The hunting squad attacked quickly, trying to trap the Resolute. The battle was tense. The Resolute dodged missile strikes and fired back with precise lasers. Echo helped predict enemy moves. In a daring move, Brennan ordered the Resolute to hide inside an asteroid field near Terran. The narrow spaces made it hard for the hunting squad to follow without risking damage. The hunting squad hesitated. Their ships were larger and less agile. After several tense moments, they withdrew. We lost them for now, said Sarah. But they will try again. Brennan looked at the stars. We must keep moving. Korvax will not stop until they break us. Back. On Terran, the planet was still recovering from the first attack. But hope was growing. The people built shelters and trained volunteers to help defend if needed. Mayor Nara worked with Brennan to organize local support. Our people want to help, she said. Even if we can't fight in space, we can protect our homes. Resolute sent messages to other nearby species oppressed by the Korvax. Some answered, offering ships, supplies, or information. Slowly, a small coalition of worlds began to form, inspired by the human warship and its courage. The Korvax Empire was no longer a silent, unstoppable force. One night, Brennan stood on the ship's bridge, watching the stars. Echo spoke softly. Captain, the Korvax fleet is repairing, but their morale is low. If we act now, we could push them back further. Good, Brennan said. Prepare the crew. We have a chance to change the war. The Resolute moved with its new allies to a nearby star system controlled by the Korvax. Their plan was to strike hard, destroy a key supply base, and send a message that the Korvax would face serious resistance everywhere. The stage was set for a new battle, one that would test the strength and unity of humans and their allies. The Korvax Empire, once proud and confident, was beginning to feel the first cracks in its reign. The Resolute and its allies moved toward the Korvax supply base hidden in an asteroid belt near the edge of a star system. This base was critical for the Korvax. It stored weapons, fuel, and spare parts needed to repair their fleets quickly. Captain Liam Brennan stood on the bridge, looking at the display. This base keeps the Korvax strong, he said. If we destroy it, their power will weaken. Lieutenant Sarah Mendoza nodded. Need to be careful. The base is heavily guarded by drones and automated turrets. The Carvian ambassador, Island added, our ships can help with stealth attacks. Together we can surprise them. The plan was simple but risky. The Resolute would lead a small strike team to break through the outer defenses. The Carvian ships would cut off any reinforcements. The goal was to destroy the supply stores before the Korvax could respond. As they approached, the Korvax base lit up with alarms. Automated turrets opened fire, and defense drones swarmed out. The battle was fierce. The Resolute moved quickly, using its small size and agility to dodge attacks. Echo, the ship's AI, analyzed the turret's firing patterns and suggested new paths to avoid damage. Fire the plasma charges, Brennan ordered. The crew launched special bombs designed to disable energy shields and electronics. Explosions rocked the base's outer walls. The Carvian ships attacked from the sides, engaging Korvax reinforcements trying to break through. The Carvian pilots used hit-and-run tactics, drawing enemy fire and protecting the Resolute. Inside the base, the Korvax commander realized the humans were serious. Send all ships to stop them, he shouted. But the Korvax forces were scattered and slow to respond. The Resolute reached the core of the base. Sarah targeted the fuel tanks with precision lasers. Huge fires began to spread. We have to move. Fast, Brennan said. Once the base starts to explode, we escape. Suddenly, the Korvax flagship arrived, a massive warship called the Tyrannus. Its engines glowed bright, and it fired a powerful energy beam toward the Resolute. The Resolute's shields flared. Brennan ordered evasive maneuvers. Echo predicted the Tyrannus's next attack and found a blind spot in its defense. Prepare the ion cannon, Brennan said. This weapon could disable the Tyrannus temporarily. The Resolute fired the ion cannon. The beam struck the Tyrannus's engine core. The giant ship shuddered and slowed down. Now, all ships retreat, Brennan commanded. The Resolute and its allies escaped the exploding base as massive fireballs lit up space. The Korvax suffered a huge loss. Their supply line was broken, and their fleet was weaker. Back on Terran, the news of the successful attack spread quickly. The people cheered for the human warship and its friends. Mayor Nara sent a message to Brennan. Your courage inspires us all. Together, we will stand against the Korvax. Brennan smiled but knew the war was far from over. The Korvax would not give up easily. The Korvax Empire was shaken. General Karlach called a council of war. We face a new enemy, one who fights with heart and mind, he said. We must find a way to defeat the humans and their allies before they destroy us. The Korvax scientists worked day and night. They studied the human ship's technology and learned about Echo's adaptive AI. They realized that to win, they needed new strategies and faster ships. Meanwhile, the Resolute crew repaired their ship and prepared for the next mission. Brennan gathered his officers. We have shown the Korvax we are strong, he said. ... They will come back harder. We need to find more allies and prepare for the fight ahead. The humans sent messages across the galaxy. Many oppressed worlds responded. Small fleets and groups joined the cause, hoping to end the Korvax's reign. One day, an unexpected message arrived from a distant star system. It was from the Draal, a fierce warrior species known for their skill in battle. The Draal had never joined alliances before. "We have watched your fight," said Draal leader Varka. "The Korvax are strong, but your courage is greater. Offer our warriors to your cause." This news brought hope to Captain Brennan and his allies. With the Draal's strength added, the growing coalition could challenge the Korvax in new ways, as the Resolute prepared to welcome its new allies. Brennan looked at the stars and thought about the future. The Korvax had conquered many worlds easily, but the humans and their friends were ready to change the story. The war was far from over. But one thing was clear: the reign of the Korvax was no longer certain. The Korvax Empire was growing nervous. Their mighty fleets had suffered heavy losses, and the humans and their allies were stronger than anyone expected. General Karlach refused to give up, called for a massive fleet to crush the Resolute and its new allies once and for all. Captain Liam Brennan watched the reports carefully. The Korvax were sending a huge war fleet toward the Coalition's hidden base. The time for small raids was over. The Resolute and its friends would face the full force of the Korvax Empire. "All crew, prepare for battle," Brennan ordered. "This will be the hardest fight we've faced." The Coalition fleet gathered, including human ships, Carvion fighters, and the newly arrived Draalan warships. The Draalan were fierce and proud warriors. Their ships were heavily armed and fast. Their leader Varka stood beside Brennan on the Resolute's bridge. "We will show the Korvax that their empire is not invincible," Varka said, his voice strong. "Today, we fight for freedom." As the Korvax fleet entered the system, their ships formed a massive wall of steel and firepower. The Coalition ships braced for impact. The battle began with a thunderous roar. Energy beams lit up space as both sides fired their weapons. The Resolute darted through enemy fire, targeting supply ships and weak points in the Korvax formation. Lieutenant Sarah Mendoza guided the weapon systems with precision, taking down Korvax fighters that tried to flank the Coalition fleet. The Draal warships charged forward like a storm, smashing into Korvax cruisers and destroying their shields. Their pilots fought with skill and fury, inspired by their new alliance. Echo, the Resolute's AI, constantly updated Brennan with enemy movements. It suggested unexpected maneuvers and attacks that kept the Korvax off balance. Despite their power, the Korvax were surprised by the Coalition's unity and tactics. Their large fleet was strong but slow to adapt. The Resolute and allies used speed and teamwork to strike quickly and retreat before the Korvax could respond. During the battle, the Korvax General Karlach grew desperate. He ordered his flagship to unleash a massive energy blast, aiming to destroy the Resolute in one strike. Brennan saw the warning on his screen. "Evasive maneuvers now," he shouted. The Resolute twisted and turned through the blast's path, narrowly avoiding destruction. The blast hit a nearby asteroid instead, causing it to explode. "We are not beaten yet," Brennan said, calming his crew. "Keep fighting." The battle lasted for hours. Many ships on both sides were damaged or destroyed, but the Coalition's morale was high. Korvax's fleet began to lose ground. In a bold move, Brennan ordered the Resolute to target the Korvax. Flagship's energy core again. The ion cannon was ready. "Fire," Brennan commanded. The ion beam struck the flagship, causing it to shudder. The energy core was damaged, and the flagship slowed. Seeing their leader weakened, Korvax ships began to retreat. General Karlach realized the fight was lost this day. The Coalition cheered quietly. They had won a great victory after the battle. The Resolute and allies returned to their base to repair and regroup. Captain Brennan met with Ambassador Eileen and Warlord Varka. "This victory shows we can stand against the Korvax," Brennan said. "But we must stay ready. They will return with new plans." Eileen nodded. "Our alliance is growing. More worlds join us every day," Varka smiled. "Together, we will break the Korvax's grip on the galaxy." Back on Terran, the people celebrated. The news of the battle spread hope across many star systems. The once feared Korvax Empire was no longer unstoppable, but deep in the shadows. The Korvax scientists worked on new weapons and ships. They knew the humans and their allies were dangerous. They would not give up. Isley Captain Brennan looked at the stars one evening. He knew the war was far from over, but the courage and unity he had seen gave him hope. "We fight for freedom," he said softly, "and we will not stop." The galaxy was watching closely. The Korvax Empire had ruled many worlds with an iron fist. Now the humans and their allies were ready to end that reign. Captain Liam Brennan stood on the bridge of the Resolute, his eyes fixed on the approaching Korvax flagship. This would be the final battle. The Korvax had gathered their strongest fleet, determined to crush the human-led coalition once and for all. General Karlach's voice echoed in the command room. "This day we end the humans. Rebellion." But Brennan was calm. "We fight for every world that the Korvax tried to enslave. We fight for freedom." The battle began with fierce energy blasts lighting the dark space. The Resolute led the charge, moving swiftly among the larger Korvax ships. Its crew worked with skill and precision. Lieutenant Sarah Mendoza targeted the enemy's weak spot. "Shields down on their left flank," she called out. The coalition fired powerful missiles that exploded near the Korvax ships. The Dralin warships crashed into enemy cruisers like storms, tearing through their defenses. Their leader Varka shouted orders. "Push forward. Today we fight for honor." Echo the Resolute's AI calculated enemy patterns and suggested tactics that helped avoid deadly traps. The Korvax were strong, but not ready for this level of teamwork. General Karlach grew furious. He ordered his flagship to fire a massive energy beam at the Resolute. The beam was wide and destructive, but Brennan's quick thinking saved the ship. "Full evasive maneuvers," Brennan shouted. The Resolute twisted and turned, dodging the blast. "Now fire the ion cannon," commanded. The ion beam hit the Korvax flagship's engine core, causing it to slow and lose power. Without its leader, the Korvax fleet began to fall apart. The coalition pressed their advantage. More Korvax ships retreated, and the rest were destroyed or captured. Finally, General Karlach's ship was surrounded. He faced Captain Brennan in a tense moment over the comms. "You may have won today, human, but the Korvax will return," Karlach warned. "Maybe," Brennan replied, "but today your reign ends." The Korvax surrendered, ending years of fear and oppression over many worlds. Back on Tareen, people cheered. They celebrated the courage of humans and their allies. Freedom had returned to their star system. Captain Brennan and his crew were hailed as heroes. But Brennan knew this victory was more than just one ship. It was the spirit of unity and courage that changed the galaxy. The coalition grew stronger. Many planets joined the new alliance. Together, they worked to rebuild what the Korvax had broken. The Resolute continued its mission, exploring new worlds and protecting those who needed help. The human warship was no longer just a ship, it was a symbol of hope. As Brennan looked at the stars, he thought about the future. Many challenges would come, but with courage and friendship, anything was possible. The Korvax Empire's reign had ended not by force alone, but by the will of those who refused to be conquered. The galaxy was free to choose its own path. The humans had shown the way.